Unfortunately, delays seem to be part and parcel of the global ISO 20022 migration. The clearinghouse is deferring its Format version 5 900 tag updates from this November until March 2023 in order to remain aligned with the revised Swift CBPR Plus migration dates. However, CHIPS, the world's largest private sector clearing and settlement house for US dollars, is still on track to fully deploy ISO 20022 messaging in November of 2023. I'm Kjeld Herman, and this is the future of CHIPS' ISO 20022 payments in 100 seconds. This change simply means that the field tag 900 will be turned off at the system level and switched on next March to align with the swift implementation of ISO 20022 formats for cross-border payments messaging and reporting. Almost all of CHIPS' 43 participants, which process over $1.8 trillion worth of payments daily, have already certified for CHIPS message format v5 and will not need to recertify next month. In Europe, the private sector's EBA clearing, Euro 1, decided to remain in lockstep with the European Central Bank's real-time gross settlement mechanism, Target 2. This means that banks only need to maintain a single messaging type that could be used across both services. This approach was not adopted for the US, requiring banks to maintain different messaging sets for CHIPS and Fedwire, potentially causing limitations for interoperability between the two services, which will need to be considered by CHIPS participants. The Federal Reserve Bank, however, argues that the split migration approach diminishes systemic risk. As most CHIPS participants act as intermediaries, they will need to consider how they can ensure that they are respecting the FinCEN's Bank Secrecy Act rule, otherwise known as the travel rule. This requires them to pass on certain information to the next financial institution. As ISO 20022 payments can contain richer data than legacy payments messaging, they need to figure out a way to transmit the required data. According to the CHIPS guidance on that rule, they need to do so in scenarios where the debtor or creditor are non-bank financial institutions. Which institutions would be considered non-bank financial institutions, however, is unfortunately open to interpretation, as the term has not been clearly defined by FinCEN. As such, RedCompass Labs would recommend financial institutions implement measures to ensure any potential ultimate debtor and creditor elements are passed on to the next agent, even when there are no indicators of account nesting. The time appears to be ripe for a thorough overhaul of legacy systems, enabling banks to take full advantage of rich ISO 20022 data for improved straight-through processing, business intelligence, and novel customer experiences. Alternatively, banks can opt to use tactical solutions to protect their legacy systems from change, which often includes some form of translation services between ISO and legacy formats. When adopting such a tactical solution, banks need to 1. Ensure they remain compliant with the travel rule. 2. Realize and accept they could be truncating rich ISO elements, putting them at a disadvantage to their competitors. 3. Ensure they are performing their full transaction screening on the full ISO dataset. And 4. Measure the use of rich data elements to better understand their adoption by payment service users, triggering the need to reconsider the tactical approach. At RedCompass Labs, we've had the privilege of accompanying clients across the world with their ISO 20022 challenges. Please reach out to my colleagues or I to see how we can help you with this exciting journey.